Hey guys, I'm TGC and welcome back to the Realistic Fireplace version 2. This version will allow you to put in more fuel to be able to use it. So essentially if you put in 12 sticks, you're going to get 60 minutes, whereas before you could only put in one stick at a time, getting 5 minutes each. This means that you can preload a lot of fuel, more similar to a real fire, where you're going to be able to put in more wood, more of whatever material, and get a longer burn. Now it's also essentially just as compact as the first version. I actually managed to compact it a little bit, pull one block off the side, but I had to add a little bit to the length for it to work the way it does. So let's go ahead and try this out. We can go ahead and throw in 3 sticks here. 1, 2, and 3. We get our fire to come on. It's getting fuel. And let's go ahead and to simulate this, we're going to pull off the stick off the pressure plate. Each stick on the pressure plate is going to be worth 5 minutes. So we've got our first stick here. That's going to come off. It's going to turn off for just a second and turn back on as we get more fuel added back onto the fire. We're going to pull this one off. So that would be 10 minutes. And for our 15th minute, we're going to pull this off. Now it's out of fuel. It's going to turn itself off and there's no fire. So that's how you power it. I already showed the redstone a little bit. Now let's look at how to build it. Alright, for this tutorial we're going to be using an identical frame as to what we had over here for the display, and to kick it off we're going to be moving towards the back, starting with the fire. For the fire we're going to need netherrack under this spot, and a spot next to it, so that when we're switching these pistons back and forth we can break the fire block, but still put a fire block on top of that netherrack. Netherrack will hold fire forever, it won't extinguish on its own, so that's why we're using that. Let's also put a block here just to place our dispenser off of. This is the dispenser that we will be putting down our flint and steel inside, so that will be creating the fire. There we go, there's our flint and steel. And underneath this little half slab block right here, this isn't just decorative, we actually need it there to hide the hopper. I mean, of course, if you don't want to hide the hopper, that's not going to be a problem, but a lot of people will want that. We're going to have a dropper here. This is going to be dispensing the sticks or whatever other fuel you might want to use to be powering the fire. And let's go ahead and even cover the top of this just to make sure that no sticks are escaping. Now we're going to break that for a second, put down a wooden pressure plate. It needs to be wooden, not stone. It needs to recognize that an item is on top of it. And we're going to have glass there just to see inside of it. You don't need the glass. It's not going to interfere with the redstone if you have a normal block, but I think it's nice to be able to see inside that, make sure it's working properly. So that is that. Now we need to put our pistons on. The pistons are going to go on either side of the netherrack. We're going to just move one block outside of the frame, like so. One block outside here, and one block outside of here, which means it's going to be going right there. One block gap between that and the netherrack. And we also need a sticky piston over here, right in front of that part of the frame. Just like that. Now let's go ahead and move on to the redstone wiring. Okay, to start off this wiring, we're going to be starting right behind the hopper. This little netherrack block behind the hopper is where we're going to be putting our comparator. It will receive power from the hopper through here, and put it down like so. We're going to have a quartz block or whatever you're using to build this in front of it with a torch on the side. Underneath here we're going to connect the wiring and put down some redstone dust like so. We're going to continue that by 2, put down some dust and a repeater. That will have a block to work into in a second here. Let's go ahead and put our block on the sticky piston. That will trigger it, so when the sticky piston is active and pushing it over here, this will be powering the dropper like so. So now we're going to go ahead and move to the wiring over on this side. We have a torch here and a torch on top of that. This is on this side of the pressure plate, just making sure you can see. And then we are going to also have a block with dust on it right here and another torch block. This one you're going to put a block on top of and move it over 2 blocks with some redstone wiring on the top. That is going to give power to the dispenser. That will be giving the fire power. So now let's go ahead and put down some blocks on the inside here. This is going to be the main part of the wiring. We're going to have a redstone dust here, a repeater, dust once again, and then another repeater like that. In front of this repeater we're going to have a block, a torch, a block on top of that torch, and another block, or not another block, a torch like so. And on the inside we're going to have a torch here, move a block underneath and then one to the side. We're going to have some dust going into a block with a torch on the top and a block on top of that. So that's powering the sticky piston. We're also powering this piston here, the dispenser, and the dropper. Alright, now that we have given everything power, let's go ahead and throw in some sticks, make sure everything is working properly. We're going to throw in 1 stick first, make sure that's working. Fire turns on, that's good. Now let's go ahead and collect it. Fire turns off if that's what we want. Now let's throw in 2 to test if it is keeping on both of the sticks to save in for the fuel supply. So we've got 1 stick, pull it off, another stick, pull that off, there we go. So that's what we want. If you've got that going for you, it's working correctly. If it does pop out 2 sticks, there's a chance that it did bug out. That happens occasionally. That's essentially just a tick delay. Like if you get a little bit of lag in the world, that can happen. If that's happening, then you just got unfortunate. You can do it again and it should work fine. So thank you guys for watching. I hope this is a useful video to you. Leave comments below for any help, anything like that. I'll be happy to help you guys out. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.